while I'm auditioning, she was doing this. The entire time.
Are you serious?
Guess what? I didn't do well. I won't name her name.
Please name her
Pat
name.
McCorkle. I wouldn't say that. She did it to me.
Welcome to Couch Surfing, the show where theatrical guests look back at their big roles, their little roles, and everything in between. I'm here with Denis O'Hare. Dennis!
Hi. How are you?
You ready to surf?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's see what's on.
I never do that in my life, so I had to jump up and down once in my life.
Crazy.
My beautiful boyfriend, Hugo Redwood, is here. He supports me. I want to just thank him.
Now my husband.
Now your husband.
Yes. I don't know where my Tony is. I lost my Tony.
Oh, no.
It's somewhere. It's in a box somewhere.
No.
But my husband hates tchotchkes, things that are out.
A Tony's not a tchotchke.
I know,
it's
but
not a snow globe.
He runs the house.
Take me back to the moment when you heard your name.
You know, it was funny because the pressure was not just a pressure of, oh, it'd be nice to win a Tony. It was that everyone was telling me I was going to win. So all I could do was fail. So winning was less joyous than it was like a total relief. Like, oh my God, I didn't fail.
I didn't let everybody
Yeah,
down.
I didn't let everybody down. But it also felt really good. I've lost Emmys twice now. And you go in thinking, I'm not going to win, you know. I'm not going to win. And then about 5 minutes before they call your name, you go, I'm going to win. I have to win. It's mine. I have to win.
All right, next.
Oh.
Yes.
Mark? Yeah, Albert.
I mean, your character has a quick cameo, but he's extremely significant to the film.
The movie used to be called Albert's Abyss.
I read that. I
And
had
my
no
name
idea.
is Albert. Yeah, that was the working title on the film. The funny thing about this movie was that they hand me that baby, which is maybe, I don't know, 4 months old. It's slippery because they're throwing rain on us. I'm like, I'm not falling, but I'm close to falling with the baby. And the mother's just kind of like, it's so fun. Look, my baby's in the movie. I'm like, yeah, I almost dropped your baby.
Up next.
Next.
I'd like to challenge you to a public debate.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you're playing California Senator John Briggs.
Yes.
And he was an outspoken bigot and homophobe.
Yeah, he was. He was pretty awful.
He's loathsome.
He's loathsome. I love characters like this. It was a great thing to grab onto with
Yes.
a character like that. You know, they have big handles, and you can just really. Oh wait, it's my favorite thing. See how he's sitting? He had his legs crossed like this,
Yes.
And John Briggs was so kind of like flaming, and he was straight. I was like, so ironic that this flame. He had a weird lisp, which I did, and they would say pull back on the lisp. I'm like, but it's true. And I know it's true, but it seems like you're making a comment. I'm like, I'm not. That's who he was.
Some people at the time took issue with the fact that Sean Penn was playing this gay activist. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts about that?
If gay people aren't getting work and roles are not going to them, that's problematic.
Right.
Just like I feel very strongly now that straight people shouldn't play trans characters for a couple of reasons. One of it being is that there are trans actors, and if they can't get work because someone else is taking their parts, that's problematic. Now, the artistic part of it is, can somebody who is not straight or not gay play those parts? And the answer is, of course they can. We're actors. And, you know, I've spent my entire career playing mostly straight characters, and I would hate to have that denied to me.
Right.
But, you know, when it comes to an issue where someone is not getting work, it's insulting to then deny them the opportunity to work by taking parts away from them that they're able to play.
Up next.
The country remains undecided.
All right.
Help you decide, America? Do not turn off the camera!
We shot this 4 or 5 times only in one take because it took so long to set it back up. The lovely newscaster guy, he had to get like, the weird rig had to be on him. He had to get cleaned up. They had plastic over all the cameras because blood was flying everywhere.
Are you serious?
So
That
all the
was a
cameramen
big
were
mess.
wearing ponchos and they had like plastic sheets over them.
Okay, explain to me why this series was so beloved. Why do you think the Trubies just couldn't get enough of it?
People liked the books.
They did,
So they
yes.
came prepped. People who were converts liked the nudity. There's a lot to feast on.
The fans were rabid, though. Did any of them do anything particularly crazy that stands out to you?
You know what? I still get, I do conventions and I still get, hi, could you bite my neck? I'm like, sure, I'll bite your neck. $40, come on, I'll bite your neck. Sure.
That's the going rate.
Yeah, for me, I'm cheap.
Welcome back to Couch Surfing. I'm still here with Denis O'Hare. Dennis,
Hello.
Hello. Shall we continue?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
With that white slip
The
and shade.
4th season of American Horror Story.
Yeah, I felt honored to play this character. And when we did it, 2015 maybe, I think it was, this is sort of the last moment, again, when a cisgendered man could play a trans character or could play a female character. My rationale for this was, we didn't know what this character was when it was written. So I
Wait, how did
assumed,
Ryan Murphy pitch Liz to you?
you know what, he didn't pitch, he just told.
Okay.
And he didn't tell me anything. All he said was, you're playing Liz Taylor, smoky eye, fabulous, shaved head, fabulous. That's all he said. Initially, I assumed that Liz was a man in drag who was maybe had a male counterpart. And as we got into it deeper, we all realized that wasn't the case. But it wasn't, we didn't know that at first.
So your relationship with the character and the character were simultaneously
Changing.
evolving.
Everybody, and the writers were changing their understanding of the character as well, which is really cool. So as the character is growing into her own identity, I'm growing into her identity. It was really interesting.
Up next.
Mr. Dargis will pay to Gloria's Guns a cash penalty of 10 cents.
This character also got to grow because it was like 7 years. I did 6 years on The Good Wife and then 2 years on The Good Fight. I think 2 years.
Judge Abernathy.
Judge Abernathy. So he got to grow. And at the beginning, the very first pilot episode after the pilot was, he didn't know what he was doing. He was sort of like a new judge. He didn't understand the protocols. He was very informal. And then, you know, we go out. I used to watch old episodes just to make sure I was charting him. And he got a little grumpy, you know, and he got a little more vinegary as he got older. They know my politics, so they would sort of write to me a little bit.
They knew.
Like, I'm fierce. I'm a fierce gun control advocate, and so they wrote a gun control issue where I lost, where the judge, he rules against his own instincts, and I love that. They did that all the time and again.
All right, you ready to roll?
Yes.
Up next.
You want to know who's in the closet with you? That's Fran. And you want to know who fell off the balcony?
So,
That was Fran.
is this your most interesting co-star?
Fran.
Fran.
Yes. You know, Fran was a little wooden, I gotta say. Didn't give a lot. Yeah.
Were you a fan of the show before joining
You know what?
these crazy gals?
I didn't know the show, and I binge watched, and then I felt this incredible sense of like pressure to be on it. I was like, I can't be on the show. This show is really funny. I was really nervous about it, but I love them. They're so funny.
But it must have been nice for you to flex your funny muscle because you have comedic chops.
Well, it's weird, you know, I was recently talking to someone, a casting director, and they were like, I forgot that you can be funny. I just saw big late night. You're funny. I was like, yeah, I'm an actor. We do everything. You know,
It's a thing
you
called
have
range.
to. You have to.
All right, up next.
It's a note.
The story is tragically inspired by the real-life suicide of your
My
own
sister, my little sister, yeah.
When did you decide that you were ready or even able to look at that story and present it in a fictional way?
I've done this a couple times in my career. I'm brave enough to do things because I assume it'll never happen. So I was like, I'm going to write the movie of this because it will never get made. No one's ever going to see it. So I'll just write it, and I'll write it exactly how I want to write it, which means it's about 90 to 95% accurate.
It's beautiful and it's poignant, but it also allows us to wrestle with really complicated ideas and have conversations that we may not be able to have normally.
Suicide is one of the taboos. It's a taboo that's still left, and without meaning to, people often assume that you did something wrong. That as the brother of, the father of, the son of, that you could have done something. You somehow missed it or weren't watching, and that's not true. I mean, you know, people commit suicide for lots of reasons. Yeah. It's hard to talk to people about it. Not everybody wants to talk about it, and even the word, people kind of go, ooh, it's a difficult thing, and so I hope this movie allows people who have dealt with it and who have experienced it to feel like they have an opening. Yeah.
Okay, so before I let you go, and thank you for
Yes.
that, by the way,
Thank you.
Before I let you go, The Goldfinch is in theaters now.
Yes.
This was one of the most highly anticipated film adaptations.
Yeah.
What sort of pressure is there when you have these rabid fans waiting with
Yes.
bated breath for a film?
You're always going to piss somebody off.
That happens.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't. You can't please them. I think it's a stroke of genius that Jeffrey Wright is playing Hobie. I think it's amazing. I bet someone is not going to be happy about that. Someone that's like, he wasn't black, and you go, how do you know? How do you know? It's a book.
It's a book,
You
yeah.
know?
No, it's true. Dennis, thank you so much for surfing by. You were awesome.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yay! The Parting Glass is available now on video on demand. See you next week on Couch Surfing. Bye.